Today is our practice assessment for Standard 2, and the reason that I made a video for this is just in case you forgot how to do our level 1 problems. So you might look at problem number 1, A and B, and you might think, I don't know what to do because there's not enough numbers like we've been doing in the past couple of days. So what you have to remember is that problem 1 and problem 2 on the assessment tomorrow are going to be one-step equations. There is one thing you have to do to solve them. So these are one step. And your one step could be addition, it could be subtraction, it could be multiplication, and it could be division. So there's just one thing that you need to do. So over here on problem number 1, where it says minus 11, what's the opposite of minus 11? Plus 11. That's literally the only thing you have to do. So you go plus 11 on both sides. And W equals, and then you type that into your calculator. Please promise me that on the assessment day, you will use your calculator and you won't just guess or think that you know. So negative 15 plus 11 is negative 4. Then on problem B, again, it's one step. This is multiplication. So all you're going to do on that one step is just divide. Divide both sides by 9. I'll give you a second to go ahead and do that, and then we'll jump down to level 2. Okay. On this two-step level, this is the only time you're going to see a problem where you're going to have to undo division. Okay, so you're going to see this fraction type look on one of these two problems, so we want to make sure we practice it. But remember, when you're doing a two-step equation, what comes first is the undoing of any addition or subtraction. So before you look at that fraction and kind of freak out, don't freak out. Deal with this minus 3 first by doing plus 3 on both sides. So negative 9 plus 3 is negative 6. And then over here, this fraction, I'm going to write this fraction, and I'm going to read it as x divided by 5. So the opposite, so step 2 is to undo multiplication or division. You are going to see a division problem. It looks just like this. And to get rid of that divide by 5, you've got to multiply by 5 on both sides. So x equals negative 6 times 5 is negative 30. Okay, then you've got your basic two-step equation over here on the right side, that B. So I'll go ahead and give you about 60 seconds here, 1 minute, to do that B, and then we'll jump down to level 3 together. Okay, so if I didn't give you enough time to do that second question on that level 2, you can pause the video and you can do that now. But down on level 3, so this is the problem. These are the 2 problems that will get you a level 3 score. Okay, if you can do both of them. Here's the steps again. Number 1 is you simplify by first doing any distributing and then doing any combining before you then try to undo addition, subtraction, and undo multiplication, division. Okay, we're going to look over here at the distributive property problem only on that first step. Actually, let's do the first step on each one to get it back to that 2-step equation. So when we combine like terms, remember it's the sign in front of the number that matters. So this is a -7 plus 3 that we have to put together. So -7 plus 3 is a negative 4y. Then bring down my plus 6 equals 26. Okay, and then we solve from there. Subtract 6 from both sides, and then we divide, which is the same as our level 2 problems. At some point, you're going to forget a negative sign somewhere, and a negative sign is a way bigger deal than you think it is, especially when it comes to your score. So make sure that you're being very mindful of your negative signs and that you're making sure to bring them down or to write them whenever you have a negative sign. Okay, first step on this B, again, we have a -4 that's being multiplied in. So we've got -4 times 3 is -12D. -4 times 2 is -8. And then 136. Okay, so then we add 8 to both sides. Is 144, so -12D is equal to 144. Make sure you divide by a -12 on both sides. And you get -12. Okay, last one, level 4. Hopefully you'll at least attempt the level 4 problem. We're going to distribute, then we're going to combine, then we're going to undo addition, subtraction, then we're going to divide at the very end. So we're going to go through all 4 steps here, all 4 things on this level 4 problem. Okay, so we've got a negative out front. You should just be on the lookout. You should expect that you're going to have to multiply by a negative at least once on this assessment. So we'll take -4 times 2. That's -8. -4 times -10. So right here, this is where somebody's going to make a mistake just because you're going to be rushing. And you're not going to take the time to make sure that you look that this is a -4 times a -10, which is a positive 40. Or maybe you're just not willing to write it all out. Then we are going to combine. It's going to be very tempting. This says +8, so I'm going to -8 on both sides. Let's just put these 2 together first, and then we'll subtract them. So -8f, 40 plus 8 is 48. Now I'll go ahead and subtract my 48 from both sides. And that doesn't seem like a big deal now, but when we get into standard 3, it will be a big deal, and you won't be able to get a level 3 if we can't do this step. So we're going to make sure to just follow the steps here because it will help us out later. I'm going to use my calculator to put this in, negative 40 minus 48, so I make sure that I have the correct number there. So I take away $40 from you, and then I take away another $48. That number is going to get bigger. So I've got a negative 8F is equal to a negative 88. Divide, not dropping any of my negatives here. I'm being very mindful, making sure my negatives stay with my 8. Negative divided by a negative is a positive. And I can type that into my calculator. Negative 88 divided by negative 8. Okay, and if you can do all of the problems on this page on your own without making any mistakes, especially when it comes to negatives, then you'll get a level 4 on tomorrow's assessment. It'll look very much like this. So if there's anything that you kind of weren't paying attention to or some negatives that you dropped, be very mindful of that tomorrow when you take the assessment.